Right now in WRAL, this 5-page report contains what Raleigh police are willing to reveal about last week's mass shooting. We'll examine the questions it answers and what we still don't know. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
And I'm Lena Tillett. Tonight, a former police officer tells us what he sees in the report, and the Wake County District Attorney explains what it means for prosecuting the case. Our Joe Fisher starts our live team coverage with those answers. Joe?
Lena, Raleigh police say at this point they still have not been able to identify a motive for these attacks, but this brand new report certainly does make it a bit more clear as to what happened during all of the chaos last Thursday. And we now know when that suspect was finally arrested, he had even more ammunition in his backpack. Tonight, this new RPD report shows the shots fired call from Hedingham came in at 5:09 last Thursday. The first officer responded 10 minutes later. Police say the suspect, 15-year-old Austin Thompson, was wearing camouflage and armed with a shotgun, handgun, and hunting knife.
Obviously, there was some planning that went on.
Lee Turner is a retired RPD officer who reviewed the report, including this map showing the suspect's nearly 2-mile path.
Either he knew the area real well because he knew exactly how to get to the bridge that crossed over the Neuse River.
Police say the suspect shot and stabbed his brother James Thompson inside the family home and then went on a shooting spree, first killing his neighbor Nicole Connors, then off-duty officer Gabriel Torres, who was sitting in his car. The shooting continued on the Greenway, where police say he shot and killed Mary Marshall and Sue Carnatz. When police located the suspect at 6:42, they say the teenager fired shots. 2 RPD officers fired 23 shots, and 4 Wake Sheriff's deputies also returned fire.
That was a very fast-moving situation. It was one in which, as we know, the public was very much at risk.
The suspect barricaded himself in a barn for 3 hours.
His firearm is in his right hand. Shotgun still on the ground. He's still trying to pull the trigger and nothing's happening.
Eventually, police say they decided to advance on the suspect. They took him into custody, found his various weapons, and that ammunition still in his backpack.
Yeah, there's just going to be some questions that we are not in a position to answer right now, but certainly looking at how did he come into possession of these weapons will be part of this investigation and ultimately will be part of a prosecution if we're able to move forward.
And Raleigh police say the suspect was arrested with 1 gunshot wound. It does remain unclear if he suffered that gunshot from officers or if he shot himself. We're still working to learn that, but we do know the suspect remains in the hospital. Meanwhile, those 2 RPD officers are on administrative leave, as are the 4 Wake County Sheriff's deputies. The State Bureau of Investigation is investigating the use of force. Lena.
Joe Fisher reporting live for us in Raleigh. Thank you.
The last page of this report is a map of how that day played out. Mark Boyle's in WRAL Live Center with a look at what else it tells us. Mark.
Gerald, we've added these red tabs, the locators on these maps, to give our folks at home a better idea of where all of this unfolded. This is exactly what RPD released, though. You see this line here in the center. So this is the neighborhood where things started. The suspect then went up the Greenway, and that's the location where he crossed the bridge, coming back down through this wooded area, right past this elementary school. This is Beaver Dam Elementary School. And then Joe talked about that suspect location where he was apprehended in that shed that happened about 2 miles over to the east, close to 540 and Old Mill Burney Road. This was quite the trek. We showed a map all evening during our team coverage when this story was breaking. The part we didn't know was the exact track. Tonight we know it, and this helps lay out exactly how everything unfolded and what police were up against that night.
Thank you, Mark.